Hey guys, in this video I'm going to give you a quick update on my crypto tax loss harvesting. It's been about a month, so we can sort of see where I'm at and what's happened with all the numbers. First, here's some quick backstory. You can watch the other video for details. I'll link it in the description. But basically, on around June 3rd, 2021, I sold 75% of my Bitcoin at a loss on purpose, a lot of which I'd bought at like 40, 50, 60,000. I sold them at 38,500 to capture a capital loss to offset future capital gains as far as taxes go. That was all fine and good, but the problem was I immediately turned around and bought Ethereum, thinking that as the two assets were correlated, that would help me when I wanted to go back into Bitcoin. The problem was that Ethereum had been high that day and Bitcoin had been relatively low to Ethereum, and then they sort of spread apart and now they're sort of just going up and down together. So my Ethereum that I bought is not worth anything what the dollars would have been if I just kept my money in dollars. I don't want to say exactly how much money it was that I had in Bitcoin or sold, but it was about 75% of all the Bitcoin I had. Since then, I've been watching the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum pretty carefully every day to try to find a time when Ethereum would be high relative to Bitcoin. And if that happened, I could theoretically sell some or all of my Ethereum and immediately buy back the Bitcoin that I sold back in June. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. The two have been very closely correlated. They'll go down together 5%, they'll go up together 5%. They're very much in lockstep, and I need a day when Ethereum goes up more and Bitcoin comes down so that the relative prices are closer together. All right, now I'm going to show you the relationship of the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, here I've laid out the basic Bitcoin and Ethereum prices and ratios so you can kind of see what's going on. The time of the sale was June 3rd, and at that time I sold Bitcoin at 38,500. I sold various tranches of it, but they were all pretty much at the same price. And then I immediately turned around and just put all that money into Ethereum, and it was all at $2,800 per coin. So at that time, the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin was 0.0727. That is, if you took the price of Ethereum and divided it by the price of Bitcoin. And the inverse of that, which is the Bitcoin to Ethereum price ratio, was 13.75. So that's dividing the Bitcoin by the Ethereum. So in order for me to sell back into Bitcoin, I need the price of Ethereum to once again be relative to Bitcoin at this 0.0727 ratio. So now on July 2nd, 2021, Bitcoin is around 33,560 and Ethereum is around 2113. And if we look at the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin this time, it's 0.0630, and it's been kind of in that range ever since I did this transaction. I just happened to do this tax loss harvesting when the ratio was very high, when the price of Ethereum was relatively high relative to the price of Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin to Ethereum ratio right now is 15.8826. So basically we need a time when Ethereum gets up higher so we get closer to this 0.0727 ratio. And I'll sort of walk you through where things need to go. So if the price of Ethereum did get up to that ratio and the price of Bitcoin was kept the same, so if we say Bitcoin's 33,560 and we need that ratio where I'm going to be able to get my Bitcoin back, the price of Ethereum needs to be 2439. So Ethereum needs to rise while Bitcoin stays the same, and that's about a 15% increase from today's prices, which is about $326 increase. So that's not unheard of. I mean, it could do that tomorrow or next week. The problem is that they are so closely correlated that Bitcoin generally is going to move the same. You know, if they're both going to increase 15% probably. We need a day when Bitcoin goes down and Ethereum goes up. Maybe Bitcoin will go down by 5% and Ethereum can go up by 10% or something like that. It is sort of the same, looking at this kind of flipping it around. If Ethereum stays the same and Bitcoin falls, we need to get down to a Bitcoin price of 29,000. So that kind of shows you how low Bitcoin would have to go while Ethereum stays the same in order to get to this 0.0727 ratio and convert my Ethereum to Bitcoin back the way I had them originally. So Bitcoin would need to fall while Ethereum stays the same, and that is a 13.4% decline in the price of Bitcoin or $4,506. Again, it's not unheard of for the price of Bitcoin to fall by, say, 13% in a period of weeks or even on a given day. But the problem is that Ethereum tends to go along with that Bitcoin price, and that's not good for my crypto tax loss harvesting. Another factor I haven't included here in these calculations is the actual capital loss that I took when I sold the Bitcoin, which is going to be used to offset future capital gains as far as capital gains taxes go. Since I have that capital loss sort of captured over here, I don't have to get back into Bitcoin exactly at the right moment with Ethereum, because I could stand to lose a little bit on that transaction since I'm going to make it up with the capital loss that I already incurred, which was the whole point of doing this to begin with. Again, I'm not going to talk about the actual dollar amounts, but as an example, let's say my original Bitcoin loss was like $3,000. Let's pretend the tax savings is about a third of that, or $1,000. Then I'd have that $1,000 to play with now, meaning if I couldn't get back in with the ratio at 0.0727, but only say partway there, then the tax savings might go from $1,000 to say $800 or even $500. It's still a savings, it's still money in my pocket at the end of the day, but it's just not as much as I was originally hoping for when I sold my Bitcoin back in June. Now, I did say in the last video, I'm trying to think of my Bitcoin and Ethereum totally separately, but that hasn't exactly worked out as far as how my mental processes go. I'm still totally frustrated about buying the Ethereum to begin with, especially at such a high relative price. And if there does come a day when the ratio gets back to roughly where it was, I'd love to just flip at least some of my Ethereum back into Bitcoin. In the meantime, I picked up some additional Bitcoin as the prices dipped about a week and a half ago. I got some at 34,000, 30, 32, 31, 29. I'm still taking a very long-term view on Bitcoin and Ethereum with a 5 to 10 years holding period, because I feel for various reasons the price is going to be much higher in that time frame than it is today. I'm not going to go into all the details about that. There's tons of videos discussing possible future price scenarios by a whole bunch of different YouTubers. So go and watch those and see if you agree with me. Watch this video next for more awesome content from Scott Talks Money. Gently tap the like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't smash it. It's very delicate. I appreciate your watching. As always, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. You're still here, so click on the video. It's just going to sit there until you click on it, so click away.